Oh, all right. So it says we're live on StreamYard, which means we are probably not live just yet on YouTube. So I'm going
Sometimes
to
it kicks
refresh
off
my page.
pretty quick.
All right. So let's see. It's doing nothing right now. Oh, let me hit the play button.
Yep, we are.
There we are. There's our beautiful faces. Well, at least mine. All right. Welcome, Big Johnson, to Two Guys Gun Chat. Or guys chat. I don't want to say the word gun because we'll immediately get banned or demonetized immediately. So good evening, sir. How are you this wonderful freezing cold winter night, even though it's not winter yet?
Good, man. It's not freezing here, luckily, but having a little rain. But yeah, no, doing well. How are you?
Oh, living the dream, getting up early in the morning, working late hours, paying a buttload in taxes. Love it. It's great. Everything's good. But my hair looks good, so that's what matters the most.
Yeah. I think you pulled it all out.
Yeah, pretty much. So, today we released some videos today. So why don't we start off with those two topics, and then we'll work from there. How's that sound there, buddy?
Sounds awesome.
All right. So why don't we start with your video, because I think that was a little more interesting than mine. So apparently you are having some issues with your Sig. So would you care to tell us what's going on with that?
Yeah, I got a hold of a Sig X5 used in good condition, got a good price on it. And I was checking it like when you just slow rack it. And I've had SIGs in the past. This is not my first SIG. Matter of fact, it's not my first 320. But, I know that if you rack them real slow, they can, the back can stick out a battery a little bit. But the 320s are not as bad as this X5. And the X5, sometimes I'll rack it back, let it go real slow. And I mean, the guide rod literally sticks out way longer than the pictures I posted on Instagram. I mean, the thing looks like a damn finger hanging out of there. And I'm like, that's not right. Shouldn't do that. So anyway, I just said, well, you know what? I'll call SIG. And when I call people, when I talk to them, I don't say, I'm Big Johnson Guns and Gear. I don't do that. I just say, hey, I'm Joe Blow. Just got this issue. And he said, send me pictures of the slide with the guide rod in it. Send me a picture of the guide rod separately. And then send me pictures of it sticking out. So I sent him all the pictures. And I've taken that guide rod in and out, probably 30 times already, just trying to figure this out. And anyway, make a long story short, they sent me an email back, and it's pretty funny. Basically, kind of insinuating that this is my one and only gun. I don't know what I'm doing. They said, we looked at the pictures and we saw that your guide rod, it looks like it's crooked. That guide rod's in there perfectly straight. I mean, I even put a level on it. I put a ruler on it. I'm like, this isn't my first rodeo. But basically, that's just their way of blowing me off. This is all done by email. So I sent him a very nice, and I'm joking, email back. And I'm like, this is truly laughable that you're insinuating that this is normal. And if you really think about it, on the new X5 Legions, that's why they went to a two-piece guide rod, is because of this freaking problem. So they've known they've had this problem forever. And I wasn't doing the video to have everybody tell me what was wrong. I was letting people be aware that there's an issue with it. This isn't normal.
And I'm thinking the issue might be more with their customer service than anything else.
Oh, this guy was a douchebag. And I mean, and I talked to him on the phone first, and then he proceeded to do the email thing afterwards. And I'm really surprised I hadn't heard back from him from the email I sent him, but I still didn't say, hey, I'm going to be blasting y'all on, YouTube and all that, because that's not, I don't do that. I just handle my business and I'll go about it a different way. But on the new X5 Legion, that's why they've gone to a two-piece design, because they've been aware of this situation. Well, with the two-piece design, it will not do this. It won't stick out like that. So, yes, I could turn around. The gun is still under warranty. That's the only reason I contacted them. Otherwise, I would have just done it on my own. The gun's only right at a year old. So that's the only reason I did it. But like I said, SIG's not going to help me. So screw SIG. I'll just buy a two-piece guide rod with 1911 springs, and I'll just fix the damn thing myself. But it's just shitty. It just pissed me off. So.
Yeah, I mean, I had a similar, when I got the 225, The night sights were dim, and the gun wasn't even that old. I mean, I think it was about a year old, maybe.
Yeah.
So when I contacted them, they did the same thing, sent a picture to us, sent the picture to them, and within like a matter of minutes, no, I'm sorry, that's normal. Like, you can't even see the night sights, man.
Yeah.
So MD Polo gave me another guy's information. So I wound up emailing him, and within 30 minutes, he said, "All right, we're going to send you a box, and then you can send us a slide." So I think you should try again with somebody different, because sometimes you get a jackass on one end, and on the other one you get somebody who's willing to help somebody who wound up purchasing a gun, whether it's new or used. It shouldn't matter.
No.
The guns are expensive, and they should stand behind what they put out. But
Yeah.
Sig has a problem with that sometimes.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, you have to have it vertical," and I was like, "I have it vertical." Oh, well, then just turn it, do this. And I'm like, dude, I've put in thousands of guide rods and guns. You should not have to excuse my language, but you should not have to have a science experiment to make your gun freaking work right. I mean,
Right.
Come on. I mean, good Lord. So,
Yeah, well,
and I think that if people have issues with this, or have had issues in the past with this, they should be like, you know what? Hey, we're going to send you the new updated version, because the new updated Legion version will fit in mine. It's the same, it's the same slide setup. So, and I wasn't hoping for that. I was just hoping I was going to address it, and if they said, hey, send it back, I'd send it back. But I was just hoping they'd say, oh, you know what? Yeah, we'll just send you a new guide rod. But whatever. So.
Well, can't win them all. And then they make fun of HK.
Yeah.
So, it's a shame. But,
Yeah.
I think Sig is getting more and more notorious for doing very strange business things, whether it's a non-mandatory safety recall for a trigger, and not honoring warranties on products that they sell. So shame on you, Sig.
Yeah. But like I said, I'll handle it on my own, and I'll probably take pictures of the way that I fix it, and then send it back and go, look here, Jack Wagon, it's working now. Like I said, it hasn't caused an issue with shooting it. It hasn't yet. But, if you slow rack it, it'll stick out. Okay, that's fine. I usually not going to slow rack it. But however, a couple of times I slingshotted it pretty quick. And then one time or two times it actually stuck out when I slingshotted it fast. And I was like, ooh, that's not good. So the spring obviously is weak, or it's defective, or something's going on with it. So.
Right.
But
we'll just a bit bent a little bit,
Who knows?
Maybe that's why they sold it in the first place.
Yeah, who knows? But like I said, it is what it is.
So speaking of Sig, I might as well just say it because I don't really care. But I was looking at Sigs again. So my local shop here, one of my local shops here, had a Sig P320X carry, and so I was able to pick it up and touch it and play with it and look at it and say, "Ooh, pretty." So I actually wound up getting one, but I did not get that one. I actually wound up buying it online. At what they call is the Pro model. So it's for law enforcement and first responders. So I had to show my credentials, and then of course they said, "Yep, you can get it." And the only reason why I was looking at this one versus the one that was in the shop was because these models, the one that I picked up, actually has the optic plate, removable optic plate, but it doesn't lose the rear sight. And that's the reasons why I picked it up, but it has the X-Ray 3 sights on it. So I'm pretty excited. I mean, I really like the way the gun felt in my hand, and overall, I'm hoping it works. And worse, if I want to be able to carry it a little bit better, I can always get the X compact frame and throw that slide on there, and it'll just stick out, I think, 1/4 of an inch or something like that. But it should work with no problem. And it's a little different. The newer slides no longer have the lightning cuts. They don't have X carries scrawled on the side of it or anything like that. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it's something different. I always swore I'd never get another Sig, striker-fired Sig, but I said, what the hell? It's been a while. Why not?
Yeah. And I mean, the only reason I got this one is because it was a good deal, and, I had the opportunity to get it. So I thought, what the hell, no, I'm not get it. But I'm not, a lot of people are like, oh my God, are you going to Sig? Or are you going to start buying Sigs? And I'm like, no, it's just, sometimes.
Yeah, I just wanted to try it, why not? And it was a good price. I got it for a good price, so awesome. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Now I just need to figure out how I'm going to put a Delta Point Pro on there. I'm going to have to save some change for that. Because it only takes that, and I think the new Romeo, whatever it is, 46 or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, speaking of that, I'm about to send a Delta Point Pro back. It's got an issue with it, so I'm going to be sending it back. I got to get a hold of Leopold and see what they want me to do. I know they'll warranty it. That's not an issue, but it definitely has an issue. It's weird. The
Mm.
bottom, the quarter, like, of course, the full screen, the bottom quarter of the screen, when the dot, it should go all the way to the top, which it does. But when you tilt the gun down, it should go all the way to the bottom. It goes 3/4 and it stops all the way across. I mean, you can go in different positions, and it's like the whole bottom quarter of the screen is dead. So I'm like, and what's funny is I kind of thought, I was like, man, something's weird with this sight, and I kept looking at it, and then I went and shot it, and then Humble shot it, and he goes, the screen's weird on the bottom, and I said, okay, I thought it was just me. I said, and he's like, no, the dot, it's like the whole bottom of the screen's dead, and I said, okay, well then I just had it re-verified, so I'm not crazy. So
Yeah,
but stuff happens. It's an electronic, so but so far all the other dots I have are working great. So
right. Which would always go into the corner of the argument of that's why you don't rely solely on a red dot,
Yeah.
At least in my opinion. But anyway, what do I know? Now, the second part of this conversation was I released a video also this morning. I made it last night. I just didn't want to do anything long, so I kept it short. And it was basically kind of just throwing out that question. I got a lot of really good responses, coming in. And one of the things that I was talking about was this idea of going back and forth in between, platforms and striker versus hammer and metal versus plastic and everything else. And, there were a couple of people who made some really good comments about the fact that, if they're going to really carry seriously, they're going to stick with maybe just one platform to carry with, but also have several other guns to be able just to play around with. And that made a lot of sense. And I've been thinking about that myself. If there was going to be a platform or brand or something that I was going to go for, I started thinking about that recently myself. And I actually bounced this idea back and forth. And I think I finally came up with an answer for me personally. Like if I had to choose one particular gun from one manufacturer, I have two choices that I kept coming back to. And it wound up being the APX series and then the M&P 2.0 series. Like for whatever reason, those are the guns that I think I shoot well with. And I just like all of them. I like what they offer. I like all the features of it, the ability to convert some things on the M&P, but also have just greater ergonomics for the APX series. I just think, to me, that's where I'm at right now. And I'm actually going back to striker guns, which I didn't think I was going to do for a while. But nonetheless, I think I'm going back again. So it's not a surprise, but a lot of people, I think, also kind of fall in that category as well.
Yeah. Well, and I'm kind of, I have my favorites that I use, but I kind of am more of kind of train with them all, or be not, I'm not saying be like a master of all. I mean, I don't know if anyone's a true master, but I want to have compatibility or proficiency with all of them, just so if I'm in a situation where, a gun goes down or something like that, and there's one there that I'm, that I'll be familiar with it, of some sort. Not saying it would be the ultimate gun, but, because like if I'm in a friend's house, he has guns, I have guns, whatever, and vice versa. I just want to be a little proficient in everything. But there's some that I lean to more forward or towards than other guns. So.
Sure. Yep. And I think we all have that natural tendency, especially if you like firearms. I don't think, maybe there are people out there who just want one particular thing. But I think if you're a fan of firearms and you like shooting and you just enjoy having the experiences, you're going to always have more than just one thing. I think just for carry purposes, I don't know. Sometimes I think it's wiser to just stick with maybe one or two different things. That way you can bounce back and forth and not have so many variances of what you're actually using for your self-defense. Because, you can only shoot so many things in a day. And really, when you think about that, you can only really be so proficient with so many different things at a time. So it's, the old adage is what, good at a lot, but an expert at none, So I don't know, I don't know what is the best way to approach it. But, I think for me right now, I'm just going to go back to striker fires and even kind of rekindle my love for the PPQ again, because it's been a while. But for me, I really enjoy the Berettas and I really enjoy the Smiths. I think they're just great. And I think I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah. And that's like the P07, P09, P10F, and P10C. The good thing about all four of those is they all have the same mag compatibility as long as you use the F mag. And that's one of the things that I like about, just that small group of guns.
So Dexter's saying, as weather changes, carry tends to change too. And he's right on that, especially live in, more of a climatic area like New York and in the Northeast or in this, maybe the Pacific Northwest or even in the Midwest. you're getting a lot of variances in temperature, and it gives you the opportunity to carry different things and also different ways, which I can't wait to talk about one way. But I think that's true. I think as weather changes, obviously you're going to carry different guns. For me in the summer, I don't carry anything small. I still carry what I have.
Hmm.
I just dress around it. But that is true. That definitely makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, when it gets real cold here and I'm able to wear a coat. Now I look at it this way with my work. I want to try to be able to wear a coat throughout the day, like a light jacket at least, to where I can carry throughout the day, and I'll carry outside waistband. And some guns I'm looking forward to carrying, but I haven't been able to because it's been, it hadn't really been cold enough, is my PO9 and my FNX 45 and stuff like that. Some of the big guns, or the thick, big bulky guns. And that's what I'm definitely wanting to carry as soon as it gets cold, but I haven't been able to yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny. I've been carrying the M&P a lot lately. So that's been my go-to. I'm going to probably change it around here soon with maybe going back to the PPQ for a little while. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Because like I said on that video, I only have 4 striker-fired handguns right now. That's it. That's all I have.
Yeah, I knew you got rid of a lot
Everything
of
else. Yeah.
Screaming Skull Saloon is saying installed the Apex Tactical Mag release on his original P10C the other day, and it is great. And yes, they are great. I've got 2 of them on each one of my P10Cs, and it really does make a difference. I mean, we get that sticky mag, that's fixed and gone away. And I know that people have taken apart the mag, the mag release, and they've, dremeled on it and done all this and done all that. I mean, it literally takes less than 5 minutes to change that thing, and it's so super simple. And I mean, some people are like, oh, you're going to lose the ambidextrous type feature. And I'm like, well, it's not really a true, it just pokes out, but I would rather have a right because I'm not left-handed. But I really enjoy them, and they're definitely worth the money.
So Maddie Ice 1138 says, I just got a new inbox P10C made in May 2018 for $354 shipped. Should you be worried about the striker? And I actually just bought one myself, made in 2018 for $325. So I got you. But I was also worried about that. The back plate, I was concerned that it would not be the updated back plate. And I finally got to see the gun because it finally got here. Obviously, I haven't picked it up yet because, I live in hell. But at the same time, the back plate is actually the newer back plate, which I was surprised to see. So, I would definitely look at the back plate and check that out first before you worry.
Yeah, well, I have one that has the old back plate, one that has the new back plate. And I mean, I check it, I pull the slide back on the older one, and I try to pull it, yank on it, and wiggle it, and do all that. And that thing's still it's locked tight. It hasn't moved, hasn't budged. I haven't had one hiccup with that thing. So I think, as long as you do your normal maintenance, just check it periodically. I haven't had any issues. I know that some people have, but mine does have the slope on it. A lot of them were the straights. Mine has the slope, which is supposed to help it go in, but it still doesn't have the notch. So, but I haven't had one issue, so I haven't been worried about it.
Yeah, it's going to be a hit and miss. So just shoot the crap out of it and see what happens. What do you? I just posted it up really quick, so I want to make sure we get to this. So it says the new M&P 2.0 subcompact line up. What are your thoughts?
I already have one. It's called the 9C. I have the old one.
It really is. It's the same exact gun.
Yeah.
I actually was thinking about getting one of those because they're freaking cheap. They're $385 in my local. So I'm like, shit, I might as well try that. I mean, I love the M&P series. But then I started thinking about it and saying, you know what? I don't know, man. It doesn't really make a lot of sense for me because the compact is a very easy carry gun. Yeah. I mean, this thing is super easy to carry with you anywhere you go. I guess for some people, maybe it's better, but I don't know. How about I got an idea, M&P or Smith? Why don't you release one with a red dot capability already? I mean, let's just put it out there, damn it.
Yeah, well, they have them out there that they're, office or departments are testing, and I know it's going to work, but I'm just like, I mean, they're definitely behind the times. But yeah, Young Guns is asking, have you heard of the 17-round aftermarket flush fit VP9 magazine? I can't remember the name, and I'm wondering if it is X-Tac Tactical. That might be it, but yes, I have seen it. So, I mean, that's the way it should have came from the factory.
Even if I saw it, it would still say 10 rounds on it. So it really doesn't matter for me.
Yeah, I don't know for you.
Let's see. Has anything changed with my wait times? Nope.
Still waiting in the hell.
When you get the Star MF. Oh, that's going to be interesting, Tien Steyer. Listen, I'm still waiting for the M one, the M series to come out. I'm not getting the L. I want the M. So hopefully that'll be out in the new year, man. And if it is, and if that trigger's ready, you owe me, pal. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's well, I was gonna say a couple of people have asked how far is my new range to me, and it's 25. It's 25 minutes from my house. So.
All right, let's see. A lot of people, Christopher was asking about tungsten, I believe. Slightly reduced felt recoil, but I don't think it's worth the price. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it.
Like
either.
they make a tungsten guide. They make tungsten guide rods for Glocks. They make them for the X5. They make them for a lot of different pistols, and of course, they make the tungsten frame. But if you're having a recoil issue, or if you have really small hands, or if it's for a young lady or something like that, I could see it. But like for the X5, the tungsten guide rod, some of those are $130, and that's just the guide rod. That's not even including the 1911 spring. So, I would just see, and it does make a difference. It does help. But one thing that you can do as a test to see if it really makes a difference, and it's super cheap, and I've done it. I even did a video on it like 3 or 4 years ago. Go to Discount Tire and tell them you want the sticky tire weights that go on rims. Just say, give me a strip of the sticky tire weights, and you can see what the tungsten guide rod weighs, and just minus it off of what your guide rod weighs, and actually stick it on the bottom of your gun. Not where I'm talking the very bottom, like the dust cover or on the rail, and then shoot it. And that's going to give you the same kind of idea to see if it's going to help. If you're like, wow, that extra weight helps, it lessens the flip, so to say, then there's a great, then say, yeah, get the guide rod. But if you're shooting it and you don't really see a difference and it's the same weight that guide rod's going to be, save your money. So that's a cheap way to do it. And they'll just give you the tire weights for free. They'll just hand them to you. So
nice. So really quick, Peter was asking whatever happened with the Sunday blessings. So, we got sidetracked a little bit with life. So I'm going to be starting those Sunday chats soon, probably this weekend, actually. So stay tuned, boys and girls.
cool.
Let's see. No more questions, eh? Oh, wait, here we go. TN Star saying, I know you want the M and you get the first one. Oh, man. Wouldn't that be nice? That would be pretty sweet. That right now is the one gun that I definitely would love to have, man.
Well, you would get the first one, but it would sit in jail for 4 months.
Yeah, well, he might be talking about the trigger because I sent him a little something in the mail to help him out trying to build a trigger for it, but we're not going to talk about that. But he asked me if I would sell it to him. I said, dude, I'm just going to send it to you. Why the hell would I sell it to him? It's silly.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ooh, the word caracal has been pronounced. Uh-oh. Yeah. So that's yet to be discovered yet, but caracal is going to be returning here by hopefully January. And then once I finally get it back, I will be in full disclosure mode as to what happened and where it's at and why it took so long and what were the holdups. At this point, I'm really, I want to tell you all what's going on. All I can tell you is they have my gun still. They figured out potentially what the problem was. I'm not sure if they did or didn't, but I will find out in January. And when I do, you guys will absolutely know if it's working or not. If it's not working, we're going to use it for target practice. So it should be fun.
Yeah. Hang it out there.
Let's see.
But you can only shoot one round per minute at your place.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dennis is saying he got his M&P 40 full size, and I like it okay, but really can't wait until my 357 big Sig barrel comes. Yeah, a lot of people like that round.
Yeah, I mean it's a nice round. It's is it as relevant as it was back in the day when everybody shot it? No, but it is fun to shoot, and it'll definitely get it.
The only thing I would say about it is I really truly think that the 40 is dead. I know a lot of people freak out when you say that, but I don't see many people wanting to buy a 40 cal anymore. And it's good for the people who like the round because the guns are cheaper. But I just think that for now, I think 40 is dead. I think a lot of people, when they get the 40, they do exactly what he just said. Drop a 357 Sig barrel in there, and then they're going to shoot that for more.
Or a 9mm barrel. You can put a lot of conversion barrels on them.
Right. Right.
What do you think? Red October's asking, what do you think about the Grand Power Stribor? You know, it's kind of like the PCC. You know, kind of like the CZ Scorpion. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I'm going to look at it first. You talk about it. I just want to look at the
Oh,
picture first. I know what you're talking about, but I want to look at
I'm
it.
familiar with it. I mean, I think it's a great option. And its price point is pretty nice. It's actually cheaper than the CZ Scorpion. I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all. I know some videos, I think Mac had a few issues, but he had the original one, I think, the version 1 or Gen 1 or whatever. However, got the Gen 2, ran great. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. So
yeah, it's pretty cool. Kind of reminds me of like an MP, 5 or something like that, just a little bit smaller.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. I mean, I can't own one, but I'd like to.
Yeah. No, I think it's it's a great option. Like for hotel guns or whatever you want to use it for, and those little PCC are plenty accurate. Plenty accurate.
Mm-hmm. So Doobie Antimano is asking Sig P220 10 mil or Sig 1911. I would say 220 10 millimeter. What would you say?
Depends on what you're going to do with it. I think the 10 millimeter is cool. Don't get me wrong. But for something to invest, a large amount of money in, and then buy the ammo, you got to figure out if it's justifiable to you, and you're going to carry it, shoot it, be proficient with it, train with it, shoot it a lot, put a ton of rounds through it. 10 millimeter is not cheap. So, if you're set up for that, do it. I think, like for a bear gun or something like that, oh, hell yeah, I'd have one. But I'm not in that kind of situation. So I've shot them and they're plenty fine. And everybody's like, oh my God, the recoil's crazy. It's not bad. It depends on what frame it's in, especially if it's in a steel frame, it's even better. But depends on what you want, what they're going to use it for.
I just want to shoot a 10 mil. Yeah. That's why I would pick it, because I've never shot a 10 millimeter.
Yeah.
So
Music's asking me which, I'm sorry. It's fixing to go away. Asking me which optic I'm shooting the most. It's the SRO and the Holosun 507C are the two most I'm shooting. Yeah,
right, so here we've got a.
Oh, go ahead. Keith Gregory saying reload, for the 10 millimeter. But that's the thing, if right now, and I would have already started reloading, but the price of 9 millimeter, which is my dominant round, if you really look at the price for setting everything up and buying your machine and all that, now you can get a single press cheap, but I just can't see in the lack of time that I have. I would love to do it, but I don't see a reason to do it right now. Not saying I won't, just not right at this moment. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. So Rotodime is asking, if there's zombies at the door, which gun in your possession do you grab? My answer to that question is I don't. I grab my Tomahawk because sounds attract zombies. So I would go with the Tomahawk.
Ooh.
And if they're slow movers, if they're fast movers, we're screwed. If they're really slow, I mean, we're good to go.
Yeah, if you've got a little quick one, man, you gotta. If I've got a zombie at the door, probably grabbing. I mean, and it's right. Keep it by the bed too, but probably my 590A1. With slugs, that's probably what I'm grabbing, because I don't want to just nick them or wound them. I want to cut them in half. So that's what I'm grabbing. I
don't suspect that's going to happen anytime soon.
No,
but you never know. You never know.
I'm not too worried about that one.
Anything's possible.
Rabbi Jesus says, "Don't open the door."
That's a good point. Yeah.
Just don't.
What are they going to do? Break in?
Yeah. They're just going to sit out there and go,
Look, there's something to be said about a good old tomahawk to a zombie head. There really is.
But
you can't beat it.
But you got to think about that.
Silent and quick.
You got to get kind of close to them, though, unless you're going to throw it at them. And if you throw it at them,
that's all right.
But if you throw them at them, then you've lost a weapon. That little quick one runs around that big one that you threw the tomahawk at. He's going to bite your kneecaps off.
Well, you see, I'm of the old school zombies, the ones that kind of go, and you can run 20 miles and you're good to go. No problem. But the new movies where they come out with the fast moving, that's just not fair. It's not fair.
Yeah.
A zombie that can sprint like Usain Bolt that's a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a problem.
Yeah. Well, if you, that's what I'm saying. If you took the the buckshot or the slugs to the legs, then he's just going to lay there and wiggle. You've taken his legs out from under him. So
some good choices. See, Kim is saying the Cold Steel cane sword, which is pretty cool, man. That thing is pretty. I like Cold Steel stuff. They make cool stuff.
They make good stuff.
So Kathleen is asking you, which pistol are you shooting the most these days?
I am shooting the Shadow 2 with the SRO. I am shooting the P10C with the Holosun. Just shot a new build that is completed. I'm actually waiting on one more part, but that doesn't stop it from working. I shot it, put about 275 rounds through it. I've already done a video on it, and it's pretty awesome. So, but man, I still need to dial a bunch of dots in that I put on guns. And I did find this out, and I even told Humble. With my eyesight, I'll set a dot up, I'll shoot it, and I'll get good groups with it, or good, pretty decent groups, and then put it down, grab it again, and it's like I might shoot a little above, or it's almost like I'm doubting my zero. And it is good to have a second party look at it that knows what they're doing to really dial it in and make sure, because I've set them up, and Humble's made a couple little adjustments just to make it tighter. But man, I suck. I absolutely suck at making a dot. I mean, super accurate. I just do. I mean, where it might take some people 20 rounds, it might take me 30 or 40 rounds. And I'm just like,
but let me ask you this. Do you think that is a little bit of an exaggeration when you say that? Because what I'm thinking of, and again, it's always about purpose. I mean, if you're going to be going in there to target shoot, then yes, you want something that's this big. But in the grand scheme of things, if I'm pulling this gun on someone, it isn't because they're 400 miles away. It is because they're right in my personal space. Things are getting real hairy, and I've got to shoot them. So the way I look at it is, as long as that dot is somewhere on their body, you should be good to go. So I think sometimes, I get what you're saying, but I don't think you should be so hard on yourself thinking, oh shit, I suck as a shooter because I'm not where I want to be. But again, it's always about what are you using it for? Like my purposes are self-defense, really. Yeah. So it's not really about making, really, holes on holes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But here, I can flip that on you. And that's where and this is the things I think about, not just for competitive, but for carry. But if I'm like at a mall or something where I might have, I know most encounters happen up close and personal, but say you're in a mall or you're in a big facility and, it's a hostage situation. I'm not saying I'm going to be the sniper. That's not where I'm going with this. But if I had to take a longer shot and, and he's got the person up and he's got his head hanging out there, I want to be able to take that headshot, and I want to have trust that I can hit that head. So that's kind of,
I don't know. I think the way I think of is, I've never been in a situation like that. I've been in some hairy situations, but not like that particular situation. And I can tell you that I don't know if I'm confident enough to make that shot, because you have so many other things, so many other factors that are involved than just pulling that gun and pointing it at somebody's head. You've got your adrenaline, your nerves, you've got, other people around you. You've got the police who might be there who are seeing you now as a threat. So I think there's a lot of things to take into consideration. Yeah, it would be nice to be able to make that shot. But in the reality, in the grand scheme of things, I don't know if many real people can just do that because of all the other things that are involved in that. I mean, we're talking about people, professionals who use their weapons as a means to do their job. Yeah. And even they can't make those shots, So I don't know how any of us are expected to do that.
Well, and it's not expectation. It's just, I think if I have the dot verified and I know that it is, balls on or it's where it needs to be. And, because like you said, you had adrenaline and everything, and you've got that dot slightly off, your shot to a head now becomes a neck, or, it can drop and all the other things. So I just want it as precise as it can be.
Sure.
I'm not, nobody's perfect, but if I had to do that, or, even up close and personal, I don't want that bullet to go past that person, even at 7 yards. I want it to be in that person. And, if I can get it that way and get it more accurate, I want to do that if I can. That's it.
Sure. Yeah, here we go. Kathleen makes a good point. Let me go to that first, then we'll go to the question. But she's saying I would never shoot someone with a hostage. That would be a big, huge legal mess. Because if you do miss that shot, you are screwed.
No. You're right, but I look at it this way, and I'm just throwing it out there. But I'm just saying, if somebody grabbed my kid, I mean, you don't ever know, and it would probably never ever happen in this world. It could be one of those just weird things. But if somebody grabbed my kid and they're running off or doing something crazy, that's when, yes, if I'm far enough away, you're going to get your family and get the hell out of there. But if you're trapped in a corner and you got to do what you got to do.
All right, so let's go to IBG's question saying, two guys, do you think Trijicon will develop a pistol optic smaller than the SRO with a top-loading battery or redesign the RMR with a top-loading battery, if I could speak, or Holosun with top or side-loading battery? What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, they will, and I believe that Holosun is actually already doing a side-loading. I think they are, or coming out with one, or in the process. I heard rumors of it. And from what I hear, the SRO is even going to be going through a little bit of a change. That's the rumor. So I think, if you look at it in the optic world that we are now, and I'm not an expert by any means, I'll never claim to be. There's people know hell of a lot more than me. But I think it's the present and the future. So I think there are only going to be more options out there, and they're going to make them even more reliable. They're going to make them even easier to maintain. And I think the future is great for optics. I think it's only going to get better.
I mean, I agree with everything you said. I don't know if it's necessarily the end all and be all of firearms, though. I don't agree with that point. I think yes, they're here. I think they're here to stay. I think my only concern is that people are going to get extremely lazy and they're not going to go out and use these optics the way they're meant to be used. And that means you perfect it. I'm telling you right now, I will not carry these optics right now. I'm not ready for it. I'm not proficient enough. I have no problem admitting that. Yes, I had a really good time and a really good, nice little target with this. The Masada, it's a great shooting gun. Do I feel great enough to pick that gun up and immediately spot that dot and put targets, shots on target? I don't think I'm at that stage yet. And that's my only concern with this big push. And, the gun manufacturers don't give a shit. And the optic manufacturers don't care because they're only talking about money, Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's up to the person who's using that gun to be smart enough to say, I don't shoot this well enough to carry it. And I'm telling you now, my concern is that you're not going to have a lot of people who do that. Because let's be honest, most people with guns think they know everything.
Yeah.
And, I would say that's my only fear.
That's part of the reason why I did that video that I did, where basically it's, can you point shoot? And that's what it is. And what I did is I taped up the optic completely. I've got tape and paper. You can't see through the optic. So I can't see my optic. I can't see through the optic, and I can't see my sights. There's not even any sights on the gun. I'll show it in the video. There's no sights on the gun. The optic's completely taped up. I send the target, I think it was out to 7 yards. It's either 7 or 10 yards. And what I did is I just got my normal, really good grip, and I just start dropping shots. And the shots, I mean, I show it all on video. I'm not making it up, but all of those shots are within a fist at 7 yards. And that's strictly point shooting. And that's why I say, I think that more people, if you have sights on the gun or whatever you have, go out and just tunnel vision and look at that target. And just, if you have a structured grip and you're holding it in the correct way, a lot of people will underestimate how well they can point shoot. And I've done it in competitions. I've ran through there and shot every one of the freaking things, and I don't remember looking at the sight one time. I don't. It's like, it was a short stage. It was only like, I think the farthest target was like 15 yards. So, if you have to do it, do it. And if your optic were broken or, shattered, or you got gunk on it and you couldn't see, you're still going to have to hit a body. And I think that a lot of people would be surprised how accurate they can be without them if they've done a lot of shooting. Not everybody, but some people.
So IBG saying a Holosun's coming out with 509T. I got a 508T, but it's pretty cool. I mean, I actually like this one better than the 507? Yeah. I just like the build of it. So, obviously it's
beefier.
Titanium or whatever it is.
Yep, titanium.
It's beefier. Beefy.
Yeah. I think that more optics, and this is just kind of a thought. I know that Delta Point Pro, you can buy one for the back, but I think it would be a good thing if somebody could make an optic. And I've seen like the Sig kind of has them, but on the back area, if they could do like a trough or if they could put like a built-in co-witness sight and then tell you which front sight to get, or if you bought it, maybe you could buy it for a particular gun, they would offer it. But if it was built into the rear sight, I think that could be good. But then some people will say if you broke your sight off, completely off the gun, then you would lose your rear sight. But I think a lot of optic manufacturers should consider adding a rear sight post into the way that they make their optic. I think that would be a good option if more did that.
Yeah. It'd be nice if they all just use the same damn footprint, but that's never going to happen.
Yeah. No, there's too many options out there.
Red October's asking which distance is a reality distance to be really good. I know it varies for competition, home defense versus range. So I mean, you say it in the comment. It's going to depend. I'm not a competitive shooter. I'm okay. I'm decent shot. I wouldn't say I'm an expert shot. Some people are chiming in. 7 yards, 21 feet, which is 7 yards. I would say 7 to 10 yards. I think in a practical sense, in self-defense, 7 to 10 yards is what you're looking at. I think once you push it out a little bit further, I think you're kind of going to that gray area as to, is it really a self-defense shot? Are you really being put in that position where your life's being threatened? Again, every scenario is different. There is no good answer to this, but I just would say 7 to 10 yards to be safe.
Yeah, and see, my opinion would be 3 to 12, because like someone wielding a knife, they can make a lot of ground. If you've ever watched, knife scenarios, they can take up a lot of ground pretty quickly with a knife. So, if you've got somebody charging you or running at you, I would definitely want to stop that threat before it took me out. But yeah, you're not gonna, when you're pushing way out there 15, 20 yards, it's like, maybe I've got time to get the hell out of here. Unless you're in a corner and you can't get out. Get the hell out of there.
Right.
There's a lot of heroes that have died.
And I just think, if you're out 12 yards, it's 36 feet. I think even 36 feet is questionable. I do. I think most jurors in a court would say, shit, he's 36 feet away. Is it justifiable? Now, obviously, it's going to depend on state law and this and that and everything else. But I don't know, man. It's hard because you don't want to make the mistake of shooting and then all of a sudden say, well, they were 32 feet instead of 30 feet. And now you're going to jail forever.
I think it's going to be depending on the scenario and also the situation you're in. If someone's throwing bricks at you or throwing a knife at you, or like you were saying earlier, a tomahawk or just something crazy, you want to end that no matter what you've got to do. And, I look at, and I've even said this, just because you pull your gun does not mean you have to shoot. Just because you pull your gun doesn't mean you have to fire it, So, you could draw your gun and say, get the hell away from me, leave me and my family alone. And they could take off, and then boom, you just put your gun back and you're done. So
I'll tell you that the safest bet is to know what your laws are. If it's a stand your ground state, you're in better shape than I am, because it's my duty to retreat. So we have to retreat. We can't stay and fight.
We don't retreat.
So I will run into a corner and wait for them to come to me, because that's what that's what we have to do.
Yeah, you have to go.
So I go to my safe place. So hopefully I'm never in that situation. It's a hopefully a never, but it's good to be prepared in case.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that we're getting closer to SHOT Show, is there any, and I know we talk about this every time, but is there anything else you've seen or heard about that you're like, hey, that's pretty cool. I can't wait till that comes out, or I want to see pictures of it, or I want to find out more about it.
I think Steyr will hopefully be there and have the M series coming out. That would be nice. They're talking about a January release, so it would make sense, obviously, at that point. I'll tell you what I would like to see, and what I'm kind of suspicious about is Beretta. Beretta kind of pisses me off, but I love them, so I can't hate them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like Beretta for me, like I've said this before, the APX line is completely reduced in price. If you guys are looking for an APX, now's the time to scoop them up. We're talking $320 for brand new ones. That's just a no-brainer in my opinion. But I wonder if they're going to do something, maybe a redesign, maybe something different. I'm not sure. Maybe I don't know if it's necessary, because it's a really good gun as is. Except there's no co-witnessing sights, so that's just really messed up. Obviously, Masada would be nice to see them come out with a new line with the compact version of these guns. Maybe some colored frames would be cool as well. The M&P, we're gonna see a red dot. I'm telling you, we're gonna see a red dot M&P at some point.
Probably be
Walther,
interesting.
my God. Walther would be great to see them actually redesign the PPQ because as much as I love it, let's be honest, this gun's getting a little bit long in the tooth and it needs a redesign.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, I mean, what else is there going to be? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure something.
Yeah, at the the grand opening of the gun store slash range that I go to, I was there for it, and I talked to a lot of the manufacturers. Walther was there, Sig, everybody was there, and I talked to him and Walther, and I was like, "Do you have anything new coming?" I didn't say, "Hey, here, I'm YouTube or any of that." I just said, "Do you have anything new coming? Any new redesigns?" And the guy was just like, well, not really, And I was like, okay, well, he's either not talking about it or maybe they really don't at this moment. And he was like, oh, well, we've got this new Q5 SF. We've got this. And I was like, no, that's not new. I mean, we all know about that, but that's what they were, kind of showing everyone. But, man, there was some, I mean, like, there was some crazy gun crafters were there. I mean, Cabot guns, if you know anything about Cabot, I mean, $8,000 1911s. I mean, and they had some really, really nice stuff there. But yeah, it's definitely, they had their regular end and then their super high end there. So it was neat to see all of that, what you don't see in normal stores or you only see on Instagram. So
I'm reading comments like Rabbi Jesus making fun of me and you and everybody else.
oh yeah.
I'm just going to ban him.
Yeah.
Let's see. Israel Sex Covered is saying, I think we should not worry what the next gun is and get better with what we have. Work on speed and accuracy. You know what? Shut up. We want new shit. Now quiet down. No, I mean, it makes a good point too. But you know what it is? Everybody, we get caught up into it because it's like anything else. You don't need iPhone, whatever the hell. What is it out now? I don't even know. What is iPhone 11 or something like
11.
Like nobody needs 11 iPhones, but guess what? Everybody has 11 iPhones, and yeah, it sucks, But at the same time, that's why I said in the beginning, maybe it's better if we just kind of keep it to maybe 1 to 2 that you carry all the time, but also have that amazing collection of awesome things,
Yeah, well, hell, I remember when we had payphones and had to put quarters in them to call people, and then also I remember it was really badass when you could pull it to a payphone and it had a cord like 50 feet long. So you could sit in your car and actually talk on the payphone. So you didn't have to stand in the weather. And then they came out with pagers. Pagers were badass. Pagers were the shit.
That's when, you're a drug dealing, right?
Yeah, you felt like a drug dealer. And I had the Motorola brick phone, the old brick phone that you set down. And that was like my first. No, I had the bag phone first and then the Motorola brick phone. And it was always roaming. So every time it was roaming, it was charging you $1 million. So,
yeah, I don't know. I just think it's hard not to want something new, especially when the things that are coming out are maybe they're not groundbreaking in regards to technology, but maybe just a little bit different in regards to, how they look, the trigger pull, the ergonomics of the gun. And we talked about last week that a lot of it is very vanilla. I mean, there's a lot of very big similarities between everything we have.
yeah.
But I think it's always that intrigue and that desire, the desire takes over.
Yeah. Well, and I just, there's people, I mean, I know guys that have 2 guns and that's all they're ever going to get, and they're happy with that. And they're, they have a lot of mags and holsters and all that stuff for those. But then there's other people that want a bunch of different things. So I just say, do what you want to do, 31 flavors.
Yep. But I always buy cheap too anyway, so I'm not going to lie. I don't buy anything expensive in regards to firearms.
You ought to one day. You ought to just say, you know what? I'm going to I'm working towards this gun. I want to get it. I want to try it. I want to shoot it and enjoy it. And you probably
I have that.
You really like it.
The M9A3. The M9A3 is that gun.
Okay. And in your area, I mean, and just curiosity, at your range, do they have a bunch of different rental guns, or is it just your standard stuff like Glocks?
It's garbage, like M&Ps, some Rugers, maybe a couple of 1911s, but other than that, nothing that's out of the ordinary or something that you'd say, "Ooh, I got to buy that."
Yeah.
Like I said, it's everything is so relative to where we live. If you go to a gun shop in New York, you're going to have some things that you're going to see and you're going to be like, why? Why did they do that? But if you go to a gun shop in a free area, you're going to be like, ooh, wow, look at that.
Yeah.
So everything's relative to where you're living, and it sucks, but unfortunately that's the reality of things, and we can always say, oh, well, we should fight for our rights and everything. And now everybody's all up in a tizzy because now the states that have been free for so long are starting to lose that freedom. Well, I've always told you, you got to help the ones that have been going through it for longer than you guys. And nobody listens. And this is where we're at now. So,
Yeah.
sour grapes.
I think, depending on what the gun store, like if they offer a range, what they're, I think it's always good to have some higher end guns, because it gives people the opportunity that they're probably not going to buy it, but that they could at least shoot it and try it and see if they like it. For example, they started bringing in their demo gun or their range guns at this range that I'm going to, and hell, they've got a STI Combat Master, which is the John Wick gun, and it's a rental gun. They got a Wilson Combat Elite. I mean, they've got some nice, really nice high-end rental guns. So I'm glad that some of these ranges are starting to do that.
So Zach Gilcrease, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, says, I want the best gun I can get my hands on, but at the end of the day, am I able to sufficiently defend myself and loved ones with what I have? I love the new guns as a gun guy, but need more training. And again, that's exactly what we're saying.
Yeah.
I think it's up to you. You can have as many as you want, but you absolutely have to commit to something. I mean, there has to be something. And yes, you want to get the best gun you can get your hands on, but I'll be honest with you, 9 out of 10 times, if I really had to, defend my home and our streets and our country, I'll probably grab a Glock. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
And is that like the best gun ever? Well, some people would say yes, but it's probably the most well-known and well-versed gun that would be on the street at that time. So for me, I would grab a Glock because I can shoot them well and they work. Do I have better guns than that? Yes. But at the same time, everything's relative.
Well, and it also goes back to if you're defending your streets and larger areas, I would have a rifle, and I would outfit the rest of my family with rifles too. Because if we're going to have to defend bigger areas, I definitely want a rifle.
So LZ USA is saying HK VP9 and VP9 SK optic slides. I mean, that's a good option too. I wonder if, like he says, slides. So it'd be interesting if they just throw the slides out there because those guns are still commanding a premium. I mean, the prices on those are not going down at all.
Yeah. Well, they have the VP9, long slide, and you can buy just the slide setup. And I think that's a good opportunity or a good option to have. And, for a lot of the guns, I mean, hell, you can buy that with Glock now. You can buy just the slide and throw it on your 19. There's all kinds of companies that sell, tricked out slides, Suarez, there's all kinds of companies that do that. Zev. Mm-hmm. So if you're wanting to get in the optic game, you could always buy a slide, but some of those are not cheap either.
No, they're not. I see them all the time, and they're almost as pricey as a regular gun.
Well, and if you think about all they're doing on it, with the lightning cuts and the Cerakote and the milling and the suppressor sights and stuff, that stuff's not cheap. So if you kind of, a lot of people are like, I'm not paying $500 for a tricked out slide. Well, hell, add up all the pricing on it. Sometimes you're over $500 if you were to do it yourself. Sometimes you're not. So.
Right.
Oh,
and that's the thing. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Sig Kim saying that the VP9 LS was discontinued. I didn't know that.
Oh, really? That was fast.
I was going to say, that's what he's saying. Well, they might have not, maybe enough people weren't buying it. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it would be hard to try to sell that, after the fact. But, I mean, it looks cool. That's for sure.
Yeah. What were you going to say before I did that?
What I was going to say was I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
Totally forgot. Jeez, that's sad. That's really sad.
That's what happens when you get old. You forget stuff.
I know. What was I going to say? Man, I don't remember. Oh, so, I've been poking around trying to see if there are any companies out there that will actually mill an APX slide and not charge you like $400 to do it. So far, I've not found anybody. The cheapest one that does is $350, and that's the same price as the damn gun. So there'd be no way. And it's a shame. It really is. To me, the APX is one of the best striker fired guns out there, and there's absolutely no follow through. And I think that to me, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again, I would love to be in the room with Beretta reps and tell them, what the hell are you guys thinking? Like, you make this gun, it's a solid gun, it shoots well, it has a lot of great features to it, and you do nothing with it, like zero. Very disappointing.
And really, if you think about it from the milling aspect at the factory, it would be ridiculous to not just go ahead and mill it and put a plate on it. Like, and this is something that I think, and I've actually said this to some people because they've asked my opinion. I think it is completely retarded, and I will say that word, or dumb, or whatever, however you want to say it. I think it's totally ridiculous that Springfield Armory is making the Hellcat in a non-optic and an optic version, and for the optic version, it's $30 more. Okay, for one, on your books as a business owner or a company, you have to have 2-part numbers. Okay, you could get that, just make them all optic ready, put the damn plate on it, and have a 1-part number, and you're going to sell them, and then the person is either going to choose to put an optic on it, or they're going to keep the plate on it. It's not hard, but and also if you did everyone the same way, you would have one setup. You wouldn't have to change back and forth or run 2 different machines, and it would actually be cheaper, and you would be more profitable in the long run. So I'm like, that is dumb. And I really think that other manufacturers should think about it the same way. If they set up one gun, all of them get milled, put a plate on it. The plates are, when it's all said and done, they're $12 or $9. Be done with it. So my opinion.
Right. And the other thing about the APX too is that even with the RDO models, the ones that are, coming with the cut already on there, what's kind of interesting is that everybody talks about the plunger, because the plunger on the APX pops up just like every other Beretta. On this particular model, the plunger's gone, and what they do is they cover the spring, that is the drop safe spring, with the plate. So I don't know why people can't mill it. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem that complicated, but at the same time, it's not going to stop me. I'm absolutely going to buy another one of these, the Centurion. I was thinking about buying a compact, but I was like, I felt it. I was like, it doesn't feel as balanced as this gun, but I'm absolutely 100% buying a new one of these because I love this gun, and I'm not going to get the RDO. I'm just going to get the regular model because, like I said, I found one for $323, brand new. It's to me. Why wouldn't you do it? Especially if you shoot it well and it's a good gun.
Yeah.
So,
and also for the for the guns that you're going to manufacture and mill, kind of like CZ, I think they've kind of gotten on the bandwagon, discontinuing the old P10Cs, and now the S and the C and the F, they're just coming optic ready.
Right. And
it's still a great price point. When I saw the Hellcat optic ready, I actually got a thing for it if anybody's interested in it. And I think it was Primary. Who was it? Not Primary Arms. Maybe it was Primary Arms or Grab a Gun. They actually released it today for $539 or $549 and said they had them in stock. So if anybody's looking for an optic ready one, I just got that today. But it just seems like it would be more simple. They're going to sell more dots. It just seems like a win-win all the way around. Now what they could do,
I don't know, that gun does not impress me at all.
No,
There's
I
nothing
don't mean
about
that. I didn't mean that particular gun. I'm just saying guns, and what the factory could do is they could actually offer it with a sight on it. They could say, hey, you could get this sight from us, or, they could even start selling sights, so when you get the gun, it's already zeroed and ready to go. And of course I would check that zero, but, I think that's kind of where they could start going with that. Because, some of the slides we were talking about where you can buy the slide, they're even offering with SROs on them now. They're offering with RMRs. So now when you order the slide, you're basically just ordering what optic you want, and you can order the whole slide, the optic, everything ready to go. And I think that's a neat option too. Kind of check the box and get what you want, because that can come to your house with no serial. You don't have to get the serialization.
Right.
So it's super easy, and it would allow you to have a longer slide or a short, whatever you want.
So really quick, one of the things I was looking at was another M&P compact. You guys know I love FD, and now they have the all FD model. And then I was looking at the APX all FD Centurions, because now they have those as well. And because I had both guns, I actually had to sit in this room for about 20 minutes with both guns in my hand to feel which one did I like the feel of better. I can shoot them both pretty well. I wouldn't say there's one advantage over the other. I mean, they're both solid performers. Obviously, the Apex trigger is like amazing on this gun. Now, I wish Apex would have put this one out. It would have been awesome. But after handling them and holding them and just kind of playing around with them, I still went back to the APX. I mean, for me right now, the APX is the gun that has replaced all others in regards to carry guns. So I'm going to stick with that platform, and that will probably be my main carry platform for a while.
Yeah. And like we've said, or I've always said, get something you like, whether it's multiple guns, one gun, and roll with it. It all comes down to capital YOU. It's not about anybody else and what that person likes. Get what you like.
Right.
So.
All right. So we are now at 1 hour. So we are at 9 o'clock just about. So if you have any parting words, now is your time to say so, sir.
Well, I've got the build video, and I actually don't build it. I maintain it. So it's a maintaining video of showing you everything I've got on it. That's the way I've said it, because we can't build on YouTube. But so that video is already done. I'll be putting that out probably this weekend. Got more stuff to shoot. I'll probably be going to the range Thursday or Friday. And that's kind of what I have coming up. Also, I'm going to be doing some AR stuff now that I've got at least 50 yards on an indoor range. I'm going to be starting to do some more fun things, which is not fun at a 25-yard range. But that's what I'm going to be. That's what I'm going to be doing. So, got some stuff coming up. What about you?
Very good. I'm going to start a makeup channel where I'm going to put makeup on myself.
Sweet.
Now, in all honesty, I'm going to be shooting the RDO. This gun I haven't even shot yet, guys. I got to get it out to the range because I can't wait. I got to obviously zero this mother in here a little bit. And, I'm going to take the Masada with me that day so I can shoot both back to back. And then I'm going to shoot some of the hammer-fired guns, especially with those spring kits in them. I haven't even tested those out yet, so I got to make sure they work. I got holster month coming soon. Hopefully, I got some guns that are still in limbo, so I got to get those very quickly because I owe people some reviews and I want to do them because I've actually had some really cool people, again, help me out with that. I do it for myself, but also for them to try to give them some exposure during that time. So I have some pretty cool stuff. Black Arch came out and gave me something, which was awesome of them. Klinger holsters, just to name a few. Just Holster is another company. I've got this other one, which I can't wait. This is Quick Lock Holster. That's the chest rig. So I'm going to put it in the camera there. This thing is so awesome. I've been wearing it around my house. I'm just waiting for the damn Glock to come in. So I got a couple things coming out, and I'm excited to do Holster Month. Hopefully I can get some more people on board, but so far it's been a lot of no, which is kind of disappointing, but it is what it is. We do what we can. But other than that, we appreciate everybody showing up still to our chats. We had almost 100 people tonight. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep doing them. So just keep watching. Hopefully you guys have a great night, and thanks for watching us, and subscribe to everybody if they're not. And that's about it.
Thanks, everyone. Y'all have a great night. Carry on.
See you guys. Have a great night. Oh, and by the way, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I don't think we're going to do one next week. Are we going to do one next week?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Wednesday? Yeah, we could do Wednesday.
Yeah, right. It'll be on my channel.
I don't even know.
All right.
All right.
Everyone there,
right.
Take care.
See you guys.